Cats Talk Wednesday. Small town and big city joined forces. Vinny Hardy of Lynch, Kentucky, and Terry Brown of Louisville, Kentucky, team up to give you free-flowing, laid-back sports talk. Focus on Kentucky Wildcats, as well as pertinent information in the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball.
It's another Wednesday evening out here in these Cats Talk Wednesday streets. We are live on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and partnered up with the Autograph app. And we are wondering what, and BS3 Network, can't forget that, wondering what Terry Brown is going to be talking about tonight. My name is Vinny Hardy, and that is Terry Super Bowl Brown. Have no idea of what he might have on his mind this evening, y'all. What's up, TB?
I ain't talking about Major League Baseball, none of that stuff from the intro. We're not talking about none of that stuff. We're talking about the Super Bowl, baby. They're going back, man. They're going back. Woo. As I always say, and I say to my wife all the time, sports is dumb. Okay. Generally speaking, who wins, who loses, it's all dumb. However, I subscribe to the sports stuff. And so when my team wins, it's good stuff. So I'm in a good mood.
And normally positive, but were you giving up? You just about to not be a fan, but I guess almost accepting what looked like was going to happen.
I turned it off. I turned the television off right before halftime. And I didn't watch anything through halftime. I was going through it. Yeah. If you follow me on Twitter, you saw me. I was like, not like this, man. Not like this. We have vanquished the Packers and the Cowboys, and not like this. Not to Jared Goff and the Lions. And the Lions made a good story, right? But not like this, man. Because as Dan Campbell of the Lions said, you may not get back. Like, your window only stays open for so long. And I would say my 49ers, 4 NFC championship games in 5 years, that's a pretty big window. But I'm sitting there, when they down 17 points, I'm like, is this how it closes? Because there's no guarantees. Yep. The only good point is I'm still not scared of anybody in the NFC, even if we move forward. But weird things happen, right? Injuries happen. Things happen. And so down 17, I'm like, man, can't be like this. And my lovely wife said, hold on. Let's just watch a couple of possessions of the second half and see what happens. She talked me off the ledge. And I made a mistake. I got into the bourbon when they was down 17. And so I've actually got to go back and rewatch it. I've seen the highlights and I know I watched it, but so like I texted you, I hurt myself. I knew I was getting too old to play sports because I had to give my basketball retirement, had to stay retired.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I had to give it up because as I was doing research, the number one injury for recreational injuries for dudes our age is the Achilles. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go out on top. I thought about it, but I'm like, no, I can't change direction. I'm good. But I hurt myself watching the game. When Ayuk made that catch, I jumped up and my sock-covered foot slipped a little bit on the floor, and my knee, old folks, you say, I wrenched it. And I was like, oh, man, okay, all right. But I was fine because I had my 4 roses, and I was fine at the time. Woke up Monday, felt like I had played the game. Felt like I had done something. At some point, I banged my other knee on the coffee table. Vinny, I went through it, man. I felt like I needed an ice bath. Yeah, man.
ACLs, MCLs, PCLs, meniscus.
I'm all over the place.
What is
it? I'm all over the place, man. But look, watching and whatever the halftime adjustments were, I mean, wow. I know the talk leading up to it was about Brock Purdy this, Brock Purdy that. Brock Purdy's that dude. And I've seen some of his naysayers finally come around to
naysayers.
Yeah, naysayers. Like, you know, he did what we think some of those top quarterbacks can do. Like Lamar, I was pulling for Lamar. But man, you have to do it on the brightest stage if you want to get to the upper echelon. Like, I know quarterback wins, all that. It's a team sport, you know, and there's all that, but it's the difference between Dan Marino, who kind of gets forgotten about when we talk about great quarterbacks, because he didn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, for me, Dan Marino is better than Eli Manning, yet Eli Manning's got 2 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, that's true.
And when you look at quarterbacks with 2, how many do you have to go through before you would pick Eli Manning, right? So it kind of skews that way. But you got to do something. You know, to me, that's the knock on Peyton Manning. All the regular season success, a very pedestrian postseason record. And there wasn't just a moment in the postseason where it was they won because of Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Even that Super Bowl against the Bears was not it, right? Admittedly, I'm not a Peyton fan, but his Super Bowl memories is that pick 6 he threw, you know, against the Saints. That to me is his Super Bowl memory. So when your team's down 17-0, Purdy made plays. He just made plays. And, well, the Ayuk catch, that was a fluke. Man, that happens all the time, man. We got the immaculate reception. Like, weird stuff happens, right? Like, okay. Like, weird stuff happens. You need some weird stuff on the way to a Super Bowl.
That's true. And
so the defense played well. My man, George Kittle, I've been retweeting that where he put Aiden Hutchinson, folding him up like a folding chair.
Man, see that.
And just whatever they did that second half, it was beautiful, man. It was just beautiful. And here we are going back to the Super Bowl. Got the Chiefs again. And look, I've seen some clips of the last time we played them in the Super Bowl. And like I told you then, quarterback's got to make some plays, man. Jimmy G didn't. We got a dude that can. So, hey, I'm feeling confident heading into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and Dan Campbell helped y'all out too. He got to give. He continue, and that's what he does. And
yeah,
y'all stopped him. He's going for it over and over and over. Saw the same thing in Dallas. We got gift wrapped that whatever, but he kept going for 2. Kept going for two. I don't even know why he has a kicker on the 53-man roster because, you know, those fourth downs, if he kicks them, I mean, it's 27-10. I don't know. It's 6 points that he just didn't want, and y'all won by 3. So,
well, behind every great comeback, there's questionable stuff on the other side, right? Like, it's not just, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. The other side has to help out, right? Like you and I, we've talked about the 94 comeback, the Mardi Gras miracle with Kentucky and LSU down 31 with 15 minutes and change left. If LSU had just taken shot clock violations, if they just held the ball for 30 seconds, the comeback's not possible.
Yeah.
So for every
37.
Yeah. So for every great comeback, there's that flip side of what are you doing? You know, the Bills and the Oilers, however many, like just get one first down, Houston. Just run the ball a couple of plays. And you don't do that. So yeah, there's a little column A, column B. But as me and the
You
49ers faithful,
take it.
we not hey, well, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So I'm excited.
So I have to be, and of course we are, got another week of this. I still like the fact there's 2 weeks between the championship games and the Super Bowl, even though it doesn't need the hype like it did back in the 60s and all that. I still like the fact there's 2 weeks of build up, and it's in Vegas, so it's just going to be so over the top. It's ridiculous. But I got to, happy for you. Glad you went through all the emotions and could breathe easy at the end and it didn't come tumbling down. But I gotta stay petty. I guess, some cases you can have your team get eliminated and then still root for that team. Like in 91, the Cowboys were coming, lost to Detroit, 38-6. Detroit went on to play Washington in the last time they made the NFC Championship game. I was still pulling for Detroit because there's no way I was pulling for Washington. So in this case, I can't pull for the 49ers who've ended my team's season 2 out of the last 3 years. So I'm going to be petty.
Can.
I'm going to be petty. I'm going to be petty and be pulling for the Chiefs. And, it's just.
And that, it's fine.
Can't have y'all getting 6 Super Bowls while we still stuck at 5. It's just so many.
Yeah, man. There's a lot I'm looking forward to. I never text you after a game between our teams that are not Kentucky, but we get the one up on the Cowboys. That may be a how you doing video text. Maybe. Well, but look, man, again, I'm gonna just give you some numbers on Brock Purdy. Okay, in the second half of the game. He threw for 150 plus yards, rushed for 45 plus yards, completed 8% of his passes, averaged 10 plus yards per rush, had 0 turnovers. Like, that sounds pretty good. How good? No other NFL quarterback in the last 30 years has done all of that in a single half. The biggest game of the year. And what folks need to keep in mind is comparing Purdy to all these other people, Dak and whoever, this is just year 2. This is year 2. And he hasn't even had a regular offseason yet. They talk about the quarterbacks and receivers get together. He hasn't had an offseason like that. He got drafted, and he was the third option. He was a scout team quarterback that year. And then he starts like game 8. Jimmy G goes out, or Trey goes out. Jimmy G goes out last year, right? And his first start is against Tom Brady and the Bucs. Every game he's played in has meant something.
So his first start this year was against Tampa Bay?
No, his first start period was in the middle of the season last year against Tampa Bay. Okay. And what I've been trying to explain to my lovely wife and other people is like, look, everybody, Jordan Love had played all these meaningful games this year leading up to the playoffs. Every game Brock Purdy has played has meant something. This is a win now team, the 49ers. It's win now. Mm-hmm. Ain't no learning on the job. Like, you have got to bring it because this is win now team. So every game he's played in has meant something like that. And he's played remarkably well. This start was only his 25th game in the league. And that's leading his team to 2 championship games. So what's he going to do when he gets a whole offseason? And then because he got hurt and he rehabbed all last offseason.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
He didn't even get right to the end of training camp. There was that article I put out that the 49ers had kicked the tires on Tom Brady last offseason, which was reported on at the time, but now people they didn't really believe in him. He just had his elbow torn up. And again, this was a win now kind of situation. Also, like I've told you, the front office has been spectacular in San Francisco. How many other franchises can whiff on a top 3 pick? Like we did with Trey Lance. Ain't talking about that. My good man Bomani talked all, off season. Trey Lance. Ain't nobody said nothing about Trey Lance right now. Nothing.
Purdy saving jobs up there. Sound like John
So,
Lynch.
I mean, and the 49ers draft well. Purdy, last pick. Kittle, 7th round. Fred was like a 4th or 5th round pick. Hufanga, who got injured this year, all pro safety last year, he was a 6th round pick. They know what they're doing. And so for all those reasons, I'm ready to ride or die into the Super Bowl for my team.
Yeah. So Super Bowl Sunday, you talked about how you didn't like having to wait till 6 when the NFC Championship game kicked off. Every Super Bowl starts 6:30. You've been there before, so you just cleaning all day. You watching basketball games. You're gonna get out the house and then come back home.
That weekend, I'm gonna be back home. It's little Mrs.'s birthday. She asked me to come back, so I'm watching Super Bowl. It's gonna be me and Mama B.
Oh wow, okay.
So I gotta behave. That's one.
Oh man. So yeah, February 11th, 6:30.
So it'll be fun. Look, it's tough. Because I know the Super Bowl is a thing, but when your team's playing, I am dead focused. I'm not worried about Usher. I ain't worried about none of that stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
We just got to get number 6. Just take care of business, and let's get this done.
All right.
So, but on the flip side, on the AFC side, Mahomes has reached that. You got to show me the body. Because that was not a good game that the Chiefs played on Sunday. It just wasn't. But the Ravens, I don't know what happened. I watched Christmas night, what they did to my Niners. I was like, oh, man, because I'm like, we're going to have to probably see them again. And 2 different teams, man.
Yeah.
Because if the Chiefs only get to 17 points, that should be a dub.
Exactly.
And so I don't know what they were doing on offense.
Yeah, and
I mean,
you think they would have ran? Buffalo ran on Kansas City, and Baltimore's got this good running game, and you had some fluky stuff too. I mean, homeboy got the ball punched out at the inch line.
Yeah,
that's a pretty much guaranteed touchdown. They thought they had. The throw in the triple coverage, I don't know what Lamar was doing there. And you hate to see it, it's only gonna build on him. They did beat they did at least get one playoff win. They beat the Texans, but like you said, until you climb all the way up to that mountain to at least get to a Super Bowl, win one, Dan Marino got to one and never made it back. So
you have to think that the window, you don't know how long that's going to be open.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about Lamar is he's reached that stage where it's hard to have a nuanced conversation about Lamar, because yes, he should have played better on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give us something even in a loss. And it just looked very pedestrian.
Yeah.
In that loss.
And if you look at his help, it still ain't great. Now Mahomes' help this year ain't great either, and he's still winning with it, but OBJ is he on his back 9. The little Flowers kid that fumbled the goal, he's a rookie. Andrews, their tight end, he had been out half the season because he just coming back off a broken leg, and played. So he hasn't had a Jerry Rice and a John Taylor per se. But this year, we've seen all those receivers for Kansas City dropping everything, and yet they're still somehow in the Super Bowl.
They figured out a way to do it. And that's the thing that Mahomes doesn't get enough credit for, is that early on, hey, when you got Tyreek Hill, You got a younger Kelsey. That stuff's deep, baby. We carving up chunks. But the last couple of seasons, it hasn't been like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he won the Super Bowl last year. Not one completion over 20 yards.
Yeah.
Just that, it's just different.
And Kelsey, and look, Baltimore offense didn't play well. They got a good defense, always do. 11 targets, 11 catches to the number one guy that you know they're focusing on. And the touchdown, dude, the defender was all over him. I mean, that was
a great
coverage.
play.
Oh, man.
Great players make great plays.
Yeah.
So my hope is that we've got enough greater players to make this happen. That's for me, that's my hope, is especially on the offensive side, do we have enough, can we score enough points? And I believe we can. With a more dependable running game. We got 2 weeks for Debo to get back to 100%. The Chiefs are missing a couple of defensive linemen. The one guy tore his ACL, MCL something against Baltimore. So it's going to be different. But for me, the biggest thing is, and if you remember, 4 years ago, I told you, I'm like, I hope Jimmy G can make those plays. Right? Yeah, I told you that. Like, yeah, we here, but I don't know. Brock gonna make them throws. He made that one where he's gonna get sacked, spun out of it, hit Jusic on the sideline. Like, that's a throw. There's no way Jimmy G's gonna make. And some people have pointed out that their passing numbers have been similar. But the thing is, the offense is scoring 10 more points per game with Brock under center. It's sustaining drives, converting third downs, and taking care of business in the red zone. But really, Lamar's got to do better. And like I said, I don't like being out in public talking about how Lamar got to do better, because people always take it to a place it doesn't need to be. He is a quarterback. He's a deserving MVP. That's fine. But by the same token, 2-time MVP, you got to get over that hump, even in a team sport.
It's going to start to stick to him. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know. The same thing for your man Shanahan. If he gets a Super Bowl and lose again, this is going to kind of stick to him until he gets over the hump. Great. The 28-3. He wasn't the head coach, but he was part of it.
Which is so weird that it sticks to him, and he wasn't even the head coach,
right?
Which is fine. Like, again, some of the blame goes there, but we never talk about the coach of 28-3.
Yeah. Was it Dan Quinn, right? Was it?
It's always Shanahan.
Yeah. And who was the defensive coordinator that gave up all those points?
Oh, I can't.
After having
a job, but it doesn't. Can you hear me?
I missed the last part. You said they got jobs or something.
Yeah, they got jobs, but Shanahan has to wear that 28-3.
Yeah. So I don't know who, because my memory of Tom Brady was that pick six where he tried to tackle the dude for the
and he thought that was a wrap on Brady, and here he is winning again. But I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be fun. I don't care about Taylor Swift. People upset about it, and then somebody actually did the numbers, and over all these playoff games, at most she got 1 minute of airtime over the entire game, the Miami Dolphins game. In an AFC Championship game, 44 seconds of a 3.5-hour broadcast. What are we doing here, man? Like, this stuff is so stupid. I'm agreeing with Colin Cowherd.
That's stupid.
Because when the Lakers are doing their thing, the camera always found Jack.
True.
Jack Nicholson courtside. Like, what are we doing here? It's so
What's
stupid.
the name? Was it Diane Cannon?
Diane Cannon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jack and Diane. They was
Yeah,
always.
and and during every Lakers game, they do a whole thing where they find all the celebrities. It takes them 2 different timeouts. Oh,
Mhm,
there's this person there. Flea of the Red Hot Chili Peppers is always there. Denzel is always
mhm,
there.
mhm.
Will Ferrell always. Like, what are we doing here, man? Like,
Yeah,
she the most popular entertainer right now. Is
yeah.
and it should, that's one, but two, she's not even on TV that much.
Right. And yeah, I can't get outraged like everybody is. Am I a fan of her music? No. And
It ain't.
she's not right. She's not writing it for me.
It ain't for me. Her
My
music ain't for me.
my biggest gripe, look, and that's great. Her and Travis Kelsey, hey, that's fine. Whatever you want to do, and she's able to be at all his games, just like a supportive wife, girlfriend, fiance, no problem. My biggest gripe is when she tried to remake September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's
Okay.
when I was like, hey, girl, no, I don't have to like your music, but I'm like, don't even
Don't do
try
that
to, don't attempt that. Don't, no, Taylor, no. But other than that, look, she's had a great career. She's built a big fan base. Good for her. Ain't nothing doing it for me musically, but millions of people love what she's written and sung. So hey, okay, y'all enjoy it. But yeah, and coming back from Tokyo or whatever, it's the people already gonna have ulcers and aneurysms about how much camera time she's gonna get. It's you're not missing any of the game. You're gonna see every play of the game and every replay of
And
the
it's
game.
so stupid. It's always so dumb. Always so dumb. I just don't even get it. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. Look, Super Bowl, we'll talk more next week.
Oh,
Got to come back next week so I can share with you my prediction on who's
yeah,
going to win the Super Bowl. So I will tease that out. Who am I going to pick to win the Super Bowl?
right. Yeah, we gotta hold our breath on that. Go go back to Purdy though, where you talk about how to Kittle from Iowa, Purdy from Iowa State, and
Yeah.
Iowa is invested in the Niners.
Yes.
Both big Iowa schools have reason to be Niners fans now with Purdy and
Yes.
Kittle.
Mhm.
But Tyrese Halliburton is, going to be a Niners fan because he went to Iowa State and he's, pulling for his boy Kittle as well. I wouldn't know where he went there,
Mhm.
but we hadn't talked a lot of NBA. This little run he was on before he got hurt, all these 20 assists, 0 turnover games.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's ridiculous that Iowa State has got 2 of the hottest people in the NFL and NBA. Iowa State of all places.
yes,
In what we call Lames, Iowa. Well, Kittle is family. Did I tell you about this?
Kittle is family.
Well, Kittle's grandparents and Kate's grandparents were close friends, and his granddad and Kate's granddad played football at Iowa Wesleyan together.
Oh man, at what? Mike Leach and Hal Mummy's Mike Leach's school.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. And where the air raid was born. Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, you pay attention. So it's kind of like his grandmother. That's 100 and I guess she's a 101 right now. Was real good friends with Kate's grandmother. So he kind of family. We claiming it.
Yeah, unbelievable. So Kate is a Hawkeye fan, but she wasn't an NFL fan till you, I guess.
That's right. But I've got her on this narcotic. Yeah, she's because of Purdy, because of Kittle. She is diehard into the 49ers. We watched the Trent Williams documentary that's on Amazon Prime, all the stuff that he went through. And so, like I said last week, we're just emotionally invested in these guys, Debo and his story. Look, it took me to 2024 before I even clicked that Debo is not his given name.
What is it?
I forget. I have to look it up, but it just clicked. Like, yeah, his name really isn't Debo. It's Tyshawn or something like that. I'm like, I've just been saying Debo, but all those guys, there's like 5 or 6 guys that were on the last Super Bowl team. Bosa, Debo, Juice, Kittle, Fred Warner.
Armstead, he been there forever.
I think at Armstead, and maybe the punter Wisniewski.
Mm.
You know, but yeah, just watching clips of that last Super Bowl, we had it, man. Juice had a touchdown. Kittle had a pass that should have been caught, but Fred had an interception. Like, you know, the people made plays. So, again, not that I'm going to say that the 49ers have been a tortured franchise, right? I've seen 3 Super Bowls that I remember start. So I'm not saying that.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, with Jim Harbaugh being in the news, and I'm like, that's right. We did get to the 5-yard line and Frank Gore never ran the ball. That did happen. You know,
that's with Harbaugh, right?
That's what Harbaugh, yeah. That was the Harbaugh Super Bowl.
Yes.
Got to because he's the one. It was very similar to the Marshawn Lynch. Like Frank Gore had a big run to get to the 5, and 4 straight times we throwing it to the end zone.
And he Mr. Power Run. I mean, at Stanford, all he did was run over people.
Yeah. I had kind of put that out of my mind. Like I knew we had gotten close. I thought we'd gotten to the 10. No, 5-yard line.
Mm.
You know, and then being up 10 and losing by 11 to Patrick Mahomes and just frustrating things. You know, Purdy's injury last year and Jimmy G doing full Jimmy G in the NFC Championship game against the Rams a couple years ago. And like we were talking about beforehand, back in 2011, Kyle Williams had 2 muffed punts that let Eli and the Giants get that NFC Championship game. Yeah. I just want to get over the hump, man. Like, you know, since 2011, I think 6 or 7 NFC Championship games. Like, we've been in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to get over that hump, man.
So now you just gonna play the catch on loop to feel better about everything.
Like I said, I told you last week. I made Kate watch Super Bowl 23, that drive. Well, and look, man, and that's the thing too. It wasn't until that Ravens Super Bowl. Most of the time, watching Super Bowl as a 49ers fan, okay, we had that drive in Super Bowl 23. Super Bowl 24 was a blowout. It was 55-10. Like,
yeah,
I was like, oh, this is great. And then we got back to the Super Bowl, and Steve Young, Super Bowl 29, he threw 6 touchdown passes. I'm like, this is great. This is awesome.
Uh-huh.
You know, it wasn't until Kaepernick, you know, Super Bowl number 6 that we played in. That was the first interception we'd ever thrown in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's crazy. So this is y'all's 8th Super Bowl?
Yeah, this is the 8th Super Bowl, yeah.
So 5-2 right now.
5-2. Okay. Hoping to get to 6-2.
Hoping. Ooh, Georgia up on Alabama 17-2 in SEC basketball news.
So, I know we got to transition to basketball. And the thing is, with all these teams losing, man, every team is going to have a bad loss. I think every top 10 team has a road non-ranked loss. You know, Tennessee lost at home to South Carolina. That should have been ranked, if we're being honest.
Oh, my God.
If we're keeping it 100, Gamecocks should have been ranked. But Tennessee has looked bad, right? You know, other teams, you know, North Carolina lost last night.
Sure it is. Sorry, apologies to Ben Sutter. I know he's a big Tar Heel. BS3 Network. But yeah, Georgia Tech, Damon Stoudemire got Hubert last night.
How did I just realize that Damon Stoudemire was coaching Georgia Tech?
Yeah, man.
When I saw that, I'm like, how did I miss that?
Speaking of the boss man, there he is.
Yeah, but I'm like, how did I miss Damon Stoudemire?
I saw it in October, when the season started, November, some early season game. I was there playing a tournament somewhere, and I was like, oh, so look at Dame over there.
Okay, I didn't.
Yeah,
I need all these people that was our equivalent age. Now they looking all old and gray. And come on now,
the Mighty Mouse, man, from the
Raptors. But the Cats, man, the Cats gonna be fine. It's gonna be interesting because there's gonna be, usually with college basketball, you can get your group of 6 to 8 teams, right? And you say, our champion is coming from there. Because you can say, okay, I really believe that one of these teams can win 6 games in a row in this tournament. Well, this year it's probably 12 to 15.
Yeah.
I mean, it is that to me, when I say it's wide open, it's wide open.
Has Connecticut had a bad loss too?
Yeah, they lost to somebody. UConn lost to somebody.
Okay.
I mean, it's been a while. Like they're on a run now, but they had a loss to, and I should be more prepared than that. But yeah, they got a loss that's like, and I can't remember if it was Seton Hall or
Creighton or somebody, Seton Hall,
somebody like that in the Big East that they lost to. So everybody's got that. I'm encouraged by what I saw from Kentucky against Arkansas. Starting out 1 of 16.
John Stark in it, baby.
You should lose that game. But they kept playing defense. And then you got to be thinking, okay, at some point they have to hit, right? Like at some point, and then once it got to when it was a 2-point lead at halftime, I was like, oh, this is a wrap. We got this.
Nope.
And Cal found a lineup that works defensively, especially.
Mm-hmm. You got Reed and Reeves and Ugo and Mitchell and Wagner? Is that the 5?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and you're not gonna score 90 every night. You know,
you got to play defense.
Yeah, as capable as they are offensively, some nights it just ain't gonna happen.
And that was a night down in Arkansas.
So crazy. You score 62 and get whooped in Columbia, but 63 is enough in Fayetteville.
But, and I do agree, and I can't remember who put this out there. This is the time of year Cal's going to have some tough conversations with some folks. Mm-hmm. And what that means is the rotation has got to be more set.
Yep.
And that means these are our 7 and 8. And I'm confident that he can work that out. But we're at the point now we need to get this. I mean, it's February, basically. Crazy that the year's going by so fast. We only got like 10 games left or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's wild, man.
Mm-hmm. And I always hate to think that you just have to. You have to. I mean, we can come at people and play 15 guys on NCAA basketball or NBA, whatever. You can just, but to get the chemistry the way you want it for real, like you do have to shorten that rotation up.
Yeah.
And he has given some guys a lot of time to ball out, and we still ain't seeing it. So like you said, it's time, giving you more than enough time. And if you're getting diminished minutes, you really have no gripe. You can't be like, why am I getting, my minutes cut? Well,
yeah.
You've seen the film? You've seen the film of you in the game?
Have you seen yourself? Look, and that's the thing too, is quiet as it's kept, everybody hates the platoon. And I don't know why. Like platoon is a bad word in Kentucky basketball. And I'm like, that team went 38-1. Like, what am I missing? But the thing is, you look at the minutes breakdown, it was not a platoon starting about this time of the year. We went to February, we had a pretty set rotation.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just 5 in, 5 out. No. Because you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, look, again, Cal's going to have some conversations. However, he can work that out. It's good, like you say, to do the 5 in, 5 out and wear them out. But as well as I do, especially on the defensive end, that's communication, that's feel, and you only get that by playing together.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no numbers for that. Well, I think when the team is better, the numbers are better, right? When that communication is there, where you have to know where the other guy is going to be. If I force my dude baseline, like, and that's just repetition and playing. And so I'm encouraged by what I saw against Arkansas. Arkansas wanted to win. They came out. And so this is what happens too, right? People say, oh, when you're going to go win a championship, you can't score 90 every night. Right? Like that's not, that, or you lose to UNC. Was it UNC Wilmington? Was Wilmington? You have a loss like that. That's that a national championship doesn't look like that, or whatever they say. Whatever. I don't know what people say, but people say stuff like that. Well, for my money, when you're in a do or die situation and you start 1 of 16, you better damn be able to figure out a way to get it done. I don't care if it's just Arkansas. You got to be able to figure out how to fight and get that done. Period.
And like you said, you're encouraged from the response or lack of response against South Carolina to the response we saw Saturday against Arkansas. That is encouraging because they could have folded and just, kept going up and trying not to get contact, trying to double pump and not get fouled and take bumps and all that like they were in South Carolina, keep going up, getting layups blocked and So that's a step in the right direction. We got some better teams, some tougher teams. You got, Tennessee going to try to come in and beat us up and play physical and the same kind of thing. So you just got to take what you did against Arkansas and you just keep building on it because, Auburn going to do the same thing. You got to go to Auburn. They're going to try to, beat you up, do the same kind of stuff. So now you know what it's like. You got to be able to handle it. And like you said, like your brother told you got to punch back, got to hit them back.
Yeah, man, that's awful that life lesson, man. I learned on the Shawnee Park hard courts 30, probably 40, I'm getting close to 40 years ago, whatever. But yeah, and so I'm encouraged by what the Cat do. We'll see what they do tonight. Got to answer that bell. But yeah, this is the grind, and this is not the time to run away from it.
Yeah. And tonight, you can't be looking ahead to Saturday. No, you can't you can't assume, hey, we already beat them at their place. It's gonna be light work tonight. You can't assume that they're just gonna come in the rub and lay down either, because they're solid, and if you come in slipping, they can get you.
Oh, I have to share this with you. My lovely wife wanted me to share this. Her dad played basketball with Kittle's mom and her 9 sisters when he was a kid too on their family farm. So we are family. Just I had to. I got it, sweetie. I shared it. All right. So
her dad played with Kittle's
mom
and on the farm.
Man. On the farm, yeah. So yeah, it's a very Iowa story.
Yeah,
it is a very
Kate's dad and Kittle's
mom
and 9 aunties.
Yeah,
man, Mr. Is it Thompson? Mr. Thompson out there with
Mr. Heaton.
Heaton. Okay.
Yeah,
just hooping with 10 ladies on the farm. That's what he's doing. All right, okay, Mr. Kate's dad. All right.
Yeah. But so I had to share that. I got it, sweetie. Yeah, she sent me a text. I had to get that. But yeah, look, basketball, they're gonna be fine. I think that offensive drought, I don't think is gonna happen with a healthy Dillingham.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a moment where he's gonna be our Vinnie Johnson to date ourselves a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Rob ain't going to score. Rob ain't going to go scoreless.
No.
And maybe a couple of
won't be for lack of shooting. Won't be for lack of shooting.
I love Rob Dillingham, man. He's become one of my favorites. Just whatever it do, make it funky. I love it, man. I love it. I love, as much as I talk about my Niners and all those guys, I love this team too, man. Trey Mitchell, better than I thought.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Antonio Reeves, I tweeted out early in the season, I'm like, man, we really need to show Antonio Reeves more love because he just keeps showing up, putting 19 points a game and playing much better defense than he did last year and putting the ball on the deck. Now, I don't know if you've seen, All-American Antonio. I'm like, I was on that early. I'm like, he just keeps showing up, getting 20 points a game. What are we doing? Rob had his moments, and of course, Reed has been very, very solid. And, other folks have shown glimpses. DJ Wagner finishing finally at the rim. But I'm like, we talking about everybody else, but Antonio just show up, 19 points.
Yeah. 24 Saturday. And they scored 63 and he had 24.
He just keeps showing up, putting up buckets, man. Like, he's all SEC. I haven't really, I don't cover and watch a lot of college basketball, so I don't know if he would be All-American, but I don't see why not. There can't be too many other folks out here doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Just keep balling, man.
Consistently, man. Just game in and game out. And the media types that are at Rupp Arena tweeting out Rob was there a couple hours early getting shots up. Looked like he's going to play tonight. Got the stomach bug behind him. And
good. Be
back and get that spark that he just brings, that energy, his own little vibe, man, every time.
Yeah. So I'm excited about to get, I figured, look, beat Florida, beat Tennessee, get this thing moving, man.
Absolutely. And Georgia's still up on Alabama, 30-18. So, and I think you said, all the teams struggling on the road, which is just, transfer portal and older teams and all that kind of stuff. Duke did their thing and beat Virginia Tech, but Saturday at home, they got bailed out. Clemson had them beat in Cameron, and a little ticky-tack foul that hardly ever gets called, and, they get to shoot free throws for the win.
That's a Duke.
So they vulnerable at home without a little bit of help.
Yeah. What was the player they were flipping the bird to at Cameron? Duke's not what they used to be.
Yeah.
Put it out, put it like that.
I got to talk about our little partnership too. We partnered up with the Autograph app and hadn't mentioned that we, tweeting it out and talked about it last week. To me, it's Michelle Morton. It's got her name written all over it because she listens to all the podcasts, all the UK content, and we are partnered up with the Autograph app. And if you want to get rewarded for listening to our show, it's not much better than listening to us, but if you get rewarded for listening to us TV, well, the team at Autograph, co-founded by Tom Brady, is redefining the fan experience by letting users earn points for the acts of fandom they take every day, like listening to this show. The Autograph Fandom app gives you access to all your favorite Kentucky content in one place and offers rewards like tickets, exclusive merchandise, and more. You're already listening to our show, but now you can earn points and get rewarded for it. Head over to the Apple App Store and search for Autograph Fandom Rewarded and download it for free today using referral code CATSTALK, CATSTALK. The link and the code are also going to be in the podcast description once the podcast is up. So check out that Autograph app. And look, even if you're a fan of other teams, I don't know why you would be, but if you're a fan of another school, you can still use our code and download the app. And I think Wisconsin is on there. And they did Michigan first, obviously, because Tom Brady's a co-founder, but they reached out to us because they were doing Kentucky next. But the other schools are being added. So if you're a fan of another school, listening to this, download the app, use our promo code CASTTALK, and then find all the content for your team. There's nothing wrong with that either. But if you like Michelle Morton, our number one fan, and listen to all the Kentucky content, our podcasts are on there. You go to podcasts, you'll see us. You go to articles, see Nation of Blue and other content creators that, we're familiar with in the UK media. It's all right there. So you can listen, you get points. I downloaded the other day, listen to a podcast, boom, it gave me 30 points. And every time you read an article, it gives you points. So I got little points that's accrued. I got a little 20% discount. to, let me pull it up right quick, a little code that I can get 20% off already. I haven't even been on there that long. It was a 20% discount off of Home Field, a Home Field store link. Just for listening to a couple podcasts, reading a couple articles, send me a 20% discount code that I can use online at Home Field for 20% off of Kentucky apparel. So that's just some of the stuff you get with the Autograph app. Appreciate them reaching out to us.
Yeah.
And we know y'all will like it as well. Gotta ask you, man. Gotta ask you about the fam. I don't know if you or Mama B, the Memphis family, is any of y'all gonna go and talk to Rodney Terry about this horns down? Gonna talk to y'all cousin about this kind of thing, man. Because
Man,
he is he? I don't know. I'm like, Terry, is that TB's cousin down here whining about some horns down?
Texas, I don't know if y'all built for this, man. Like, Texas is used to be in Texas and kind of running roughshod. We got our own network and, you know, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I can't imagine going into Baton Rouge and not seeing a bunch of horns down. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Like, before the Sugar Bowl, they had the all-state, you know, humanitarian team, whatever it was, and that Oklahoma dude looked at the Texas sideline.
Yo.
And he got booed. He was doing stuff for charity. I'm okay with that. Look, again, sports are dumb. However, if you subscribe to it, as I do, and you say you a rival, or if you do a gesture to other teams when you win, you can't be, don't do it to me when you lose.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the horns down, whether it's the Florida Gator,
Yeah,
or in our neck of the woods.
Absolutely.
Okay, the L's down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not rent free, especially Oklahoma. I've seen, and I share this with these Louisville, like, Kentucky is so obsessed with us. Why are you so obsessed with us? Are we rivals or not? If we're not rivals, then cool. If we're not rivals, then fine. Because I don't know, does Ole Miss do something? I don't know. I don't care. It's not a rival, right? Does USC do something? I don't know. But if we're rivals, then that's what we're doing, right? Like, I mean, if we're not rivals, then it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
But you all throwing L's up, you're going to get the L's down when you lose.
Mm-hmm.
And as a Kentucky fan, wherever I am, I'm going to throw an L's down. Just like the kid from Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma wasn't playing that day.
But he was just repping for all of them. Since I'm here, y'all going to get these horns.
Look, I found a picture. You know, Oklahoma's softball team is really, really good. I think maybe they've dropped one game over the last 2 or 3 seasons. I can't remember who they were playing because I did watch a little bit of the Women's College World Series. Mm-hmm. Oklahoma won. They celebrating. What does somebody from Oklahoma do?
That's right.
Horns down. Like,
just
are we rivals or not?
Just because, you know.
That's my whole thing is when it comes to especially Kentucky, Louisville, are we rivals or not? That's the question I propose to all my Louisville friends. Does it matter or does it not matter if we're rivals?
Mm-hmm.
And you can't just be, it's only a rivalry when you win, because that's dumb and childish.
Yep.
The same people talking about, well, the football, it's not really a rivalry because we got a new coach and the old coach is bad. You think the Iron Bowl care who the coach is?
No. Care what the result is.
Right. Have you seen Michigan people being like, well, yeah, you had that streak, but that was against Rich Rod? Hell no. Right? I mean, for real.
We didn't start beating Louisville till they put Cragthorpe in there. No, they.
Yeah. And you had Satterfield, and this was Brahms' first year. No, fam. No.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, men's basketball, well, it is what it is. It ain't never been competitive. But now it's really not a rivalry because whatever. But then when Coach Walls and the Louisville women win for the 6th or 7th year in a row, he owns that rivalry. My question is it a rivalry? Is it not?
Mm-hmm.
Because what my whole thing is, what I liked about Kentucky Louisville, we here for all of it. You got Duke Carolina basketball, Michigan Ohio State football, but for Kentucky Louisville, it used to be whatever it was: volleyball, track and field, baseball, softball.
Mm-hmm.
Are we rivals or not?
Yeah.
If you say we not a rival, then okay, cool. I will say, yeah, it's lame if we do the L's down, if we're not rivals.
Mm-hmm.
But if we are, sometimes you got to wear that L.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Speaking of rivals, it's awesome that the 49ers and the Chiefs are playing in the Raiders' home stadium.
I hadn't even thought about that. Wow.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Oh, man.
I had to put it in baseball terms for Kate. I said, okay, here's the thing. Let's say the Cubs get a whole brand new stadium, new Wrigley. It's $1 billion. She's like, yeah. I said, but can you imagine the White Sox and the Cardinals playing at that new Wrigley?
Oh. She immediately got sick to her stomach.
She's like, oh, yeah. She's ready to fight somebody right then. She's mad at me. How dare you? I was just trying to put it into perspective.
I've been there. I lived that with AT&T when it was the Packers and the Steelers in that Super Bowl that year. And
yeah.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's.
I forgot who. I don't know who played in the. Because Levi's hosted, and I can't remember who it was now. I have to Google that up. Probably didn't hurt my feelings too much.
Hey, clearly. We wasn't there, I tell you that.
Y'all. If it wasn't the Cowboys.
Sure wasn't. Super Bowl at Levi's.
Hey, somebody gonna have to burn Levi's down. Ain't nobody playing a Super Bowl.
Let's see who played in the Super Bowl at Levi's Stadium. Super Bowl 50. Oh, Denver and the Panthers when.
Oh yeah,
Newton, Von Miller. Yeah.
When they carried Peyton Manning to his second Super Bowl.
It sure did.
Yeah, man.
Von Miller by himself out there sacking Cam Newton every other play, seemed like.
One thing we got to talk about before we wrap up is the Kentucky Sportsman of the Year.
Absolutely.
Shout out to what was the kid's name? Perry?
Travis Perry.
Travis Perry that won it. I always enjoy participating. My list is kind of all over the place. I try to find. It's hard, man.
It is.
You get all that list and try to knock it down to 10 and then rank the 10. It's tough.
Yeah, it is. And this was the first year I did not get mine in. I got the email. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta do that. I got like a week, and then it snuck up on me, and I was like, oh man. So I text Mark Story, and I was like, man, I apologize. And he's like, man, no problem. Next year I'll be here before you know it. But yeah, Travis Perry.
That happened last year. Just kind of the deadline snuck up, but my list consisted of I had Coach Skinner for Kentucky volleyball, Sidney McLaughlin, who's still setting records. Masai Russell, track and field for Kentucky. I did have Anna DeBeer, volleyball, University of Louisville. Liam Draxel. Remember how good the Kentucky tennis team was last year. I also put Barry and Brown on the list just because I didn't realize he set a record for he led the NCAA in kickoff touchdowns and gave me one of my favorite highlights of the year against Louisville. If you remember during halftime, he got into it with the Louisville band. And all these little fans talk about, look at them Kentucky thugs and blah, 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 blah. He yelled at the man, and the next time he touched the ball, he took it to the house. That's awesome.
Little cuz out there.
He told him what he was going to do, and he went out and did it. He's 10 toes down, standing on it. So I had to put him on there for that. And I had Lamar Jackson on my list as well. He's the presumptive MVP. Even though the top 5, we've got CMC and Purdy. But it's Lamar. I got no problem like that. You can't be wrapped up in numbers with MVP stuff. But just watching Lamar play, and the Ravens were very, very good this year. Yeah. They had the lead in every fourth quarter. Like, I mean, they did it. And I was a believer. Kind of ruined my Christmas. They were kind of the Grinch and ruined my Christmas with that performance.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
But shout out to Travis Perry. He'll be with the Cats next year. Probably not playing with Reed Shepherd, I don't think. I think Reed going to go make him some money. But
yeah, good list, man. It's like you said, it's hard. Congratulations to Travis Perry. I think they said only the third high schooler since Richie Farmer and Tim Couch to win the award. And it's been an award since like 81 annually.
Yeah.
But when, anywhere in Kentucky, everybody knows the name King Kelly Coleman. In Louisville, they know that name. In the mountains, Western Kentucky, he had the state scoring record for decades. Zara Van Hoos was on here with us. He got to know him and become friends with him before he passed away. And many people thought that record would never get touched. And here Travis did it, and now he's got 5,000 points for his career, and they still got a month worth of games left in the high school season. So it's just
he's on a short list of 5,000 point scores nationally.
Mm-hmm. So just unbelievable.
Good. Tip my hat. Like, there's just so many people, and it's hard. You get stuck on. Do you look just at the university folks that and I said Lamar because I still think he has a connection to Louisville. Mm-hmm. Same way, Sidney McLaughlin still has that connection to Kentucky. So I take that kind of stuff in consideration. Mm-hmm. I'm not as dialed in, not being there for the high school stuff. So I don't capture that like I used to. So I try to just do the best. Hey, it's hard because I didn't have Travis Perry on my list at all. And then when Mark pulls out that whole thing, I'm like, oh, completely wasn't even. I mean, I saw his name on the. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it is, and there's so many different ways you can go. You got high school wrestlers on there, wrestling coaches on there. There's 1, 6, 8. I mean, they're not our level, but for Kentucky, this is the 8th year in a row they've won state in wrestling, track and field, cross country, college, high school, pro, all different levels, all different sports. And like you said, you got to crunch that down to 10 some kind of way. And so it's
I try to give those wrestlers some love. That's what I did in my high school days, way back when I was 103 pounds, which I'm more than that now.
Yes. Yeah, man. Seen those pictures, man. So you was something to deal with on that mat. I know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So man, good stuff. Congratulations to you and your Niners, and congratulations to Travis Perry. Hope the Cats beat the Gators. Let's see. Rodney Terry get some thicker skin before you come to the SEC. That's
man. Because look, you can't put out everybody out of Bryant-Denny Stadium for putting the horns down. You're not going to get people out of Sanford Stadium with that.
Mm-hmm.
And basketball, ooh, buddy, you got to be better. Oh, you just got to be tough, man.
The BYU people actually left the stadium. That ain't happening in Ole Miss. That ain't happening in Athens or Auburn. They know,
I'm gonna say this. I might step on some toes. You think you're gonna go to Ole Miss to get them to stop doing horns down? Do you know what we had to do to get them to stop saying naysayer at the games?
Exactly.
When we were in school, they were still they was in that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it took generations to be like, can y'all please stop saying naysayer?
Yes.
These people try to compete.
Yes.
Y'all think you just gonna please don't do the horns down? Get out of here, man.
Y'all got naysayers that y'all cheering for, but just the other ones on the other side here, y'all.
That's right.
Come on,
that's right.
No, be like how and that ain't been that long ago. Like you said, that was still a thing. Real
when
recently.
We were in school,
yeah, and I'm like, how you even go play for them when they like that, man? It's but
look, that real quick before we get out of here again, when you look at college sports 70s and 80s, when it started being really, really integrated, and there were a lot of great teams before that decided, no, we kind of like what we're doing, and they got left behind. Ole Miss was really, really good at football in the 50s and 60s. And they decided, you know what? We're not going to integrate. We're not going to do that. Bear Bryant got whooped by Bubba Smith and them and said, look, I don't care what y'all do anywhere else in Alabama, but in Tuscaloosa, we need to be about this. And Alabama has. Again, Kentucky. Rupp did his thing. Joe B, as we said when he passed, he's the one that really made this thing go.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
But Mississippi, I mean, think about this. They were so about it in Mississippi. They're basically like, you know what, Walter Payton, we good.
Yeah.
Jerry Rice, we good. Think about that. If Kentucky had two greats and neither one went to Louisville or Kentucky.
Yeah. And even a little more recently, Jason Campbell went to Auburn. He from Mississippi too.
Yeah. So
Marcus Dupree from back in the 80s, he from Mississippi. Went to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Those four. I mean, and Brett Favre didn't even go there, and he stayed in state, but he didn't go to either one of them either.
Yeah. So I don't know what they running down there in Mississippi.
But those five, give me 5 football players in any state.
Yeah.
Like Hall of Famers, Peyton, Rice, Favre, Hall of Fame. Jason Campbell, very good. Marcus Dupree, a college Hall of Famer. I mean, and Mississippi State and Ole Miss didn't get none of those guys.
That's correct. I mean, I
wonder about that. If Tim Couch didn't go to, Couch from Kentucky? Who even do?
Born and raised in Kentucky. I have to think about that. I have to bring that for my homework next week. Well, it's basically it's like having a Wes Unseld.
Right. Exactly.
And not letting him leave.
If Wes Unseld, Jack Givens, Darrell Griffith from Louisville. Yeah. So those three go somewhere else for basketball.
Yeah.
Kentucky and Louisville gets none of them.
Yeah.
That's similar. That's what Mississippi down there doing, man. Crazy. Well, we had part 1 of the Terry Brown Super Bowl preview show. So
next week I'll drop my prediction on who I think will win Super Bowl. Is it 58? I'm tired of these.
I think so.
I'm tired of these damn Roman numerals. Give me some. Yeah. It was cool. Then we got into the 30s, and then it was XXX, and now I'm like,
Cowboys won that one though, so it was.
But I'm like, what's an L and a V and the I before the V? I don't want to do all this. Just give me a regular number.
Yeah.
Who I got to fist fight to get a regular number?
Probably Goodell or something. I don't know.
Because I don't know. Because I'll be honest, I used to know, like up through 30, I could probably tell you most of the Super Bowl winners. But now, like, I don't know what number it was the Niners played the Ravens. I just call it the Beyonce Super Bowl when the lights went out. You know what I'm talking about, you know? But I don't know the number of it.
Yeah.
I don't know the number we play with the Chiefs. Be like Super Bowl 46. Is that what it was? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Or 52. I don't know where we are.
Yeah.
I remember the cool ones XL or whatever, and this, that, and the other. But come on, man. I don't know nothing. Got me doing bad.
And on that note, we're gonna hop on out of here. We got a game to watch. We got stuff to do. We got another
Cats by 12.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
Because I don't feel like cleaning. I don't feel like cleaning tonight.
Comfortable win over the Gators. We'll take it. Sounds good. So we'll be back next week. Thanks to the BS3 Network. Thanks to Terry Brown. Thanks to Autograph app. Thanks to everybody that listened. If you didn't catch us now, catch us on the podcast when it comes out after the game. Because we know everybody about to watch the game, but appreciate everybody that listens, and we'll be back next week. Cast Talk Wednesday. TB and Vinny. We out here.
Faithful to the Bay, baby.